The only question I have on my mind today, and it's something that I may address as we go through this week's episode of Ups and Downs, is why is WWE's next pay-per-view called Clash of Champions, but we're now booking matches where you have two people clashing that aren't champions? That is an absolute mystery, like evolution. But I'm not going to overthink it because I'll be here all day, and instead I'm going to take this, the finger of power, the FOP, and I'm going to go through last night's episode of the Blue Brand, and if I like something, I'm going to give it an up. If I didn't like something, I'm going to give it a down, and you know your role. Then you go into the comments and you say, Simon, you bald asshole, you don't understand what good or bad programming is. Then we have a little fight. Then we make up, and everything is all right with the world. Let's up those damn downs. Oh boy, although I'm worried about where this may be going, I will say I very much enjoyed the opening to SmackDown. Give it up. Bayley arrived to let us know why she did turn bad guy on Raw, and she actually had a very good explanation. She has always been Sasha Banks' best friend, which is actually true, because don't forget that botch storyline that WWE did a couple of years ago, where they were throwing each other into lockers, and they still got through that, and loyalty is important to her, and she's never going to turn her back on a friend, even though there may have been some carnage throughout the way. She wants to be a role model for others, especially children, and she's going to do that by standing next to someone she believes in. And that's actually a really good reason for a heel to have, because you know she's a dastardly little so-and-so, but actually her reasonings are just, I mean, you know, you can just make that fall apart by saying, yo, Bales, you smashed somebody with a steel chair, and a good person wouldn't do that. But still, I liked it. And eventually Charlotte Flair arrived, because you know how it works. It is wrestling. You time it around about 5 minutes, and then you walk out into the ring, and she was all like, look, Bayley, you're a dick, you're an asshole. Now you've gone too far, and I'm going to take your title at the pay-per-view. It's a bit weird, because now we have heel versus heel. But then Sasha Banks turned up, and she was like, ha ha ha, I am the bigger heel. She started beating up Charlotte Flair. Bayley joined in. They were hitting her with a steel chair, and the crowd started chanting for Becky. And this is where what I mentioned a minute ago comes into play about the oh boy, because you'd have to imagine a natural progression, a natural storyline step would be, I guess, to do Bayley and Sasha Banks taking on Charlotte and Becky Lynch, because of course Charlotte and Becky used to be best friends. But when you take their history into account and their story and their narrative, that's going to be a really hard sell. But what does it even matter? WWE does that stuff all the time anyway. They just go, don't remember last week. Again, Men in Black flashes thing, twing. Either way, good start to SmackDown. I then think we saw the best Elias match to date. He was taking on Ali in the King of the Ring, and I just want to shout out WWE and saying, by and large, there's been a few foibles. You have absolutely smashed this tournament. I am enjoying it. Give it an up. They stuck to their strengths with Elias slowing things down and Ali speeding things back up, but unfortunately they both hit a bit of an obstacle when they were brawling on the outside. For you see, Ali went for a suicide dive. He hit it, but that hurt Elias' arm, but it also hurt Ali's knee, and that's what the other person did from there on. One went after the arm, one went after the knee. Wrestling. Fortunately for Ali, his problem was worse, because after he went for a 450 splash and miss, Elias took advantage of that. He hit him with the drift away. He got the 1, 2, 3, and Elias is going through to the next round of the King of the Ring. And Elias, after he does this, keeps sitting on the throne and putting the crown on, having the scepter. And actually, if he does win the whole thing, he has the kind of character that can wear that garb and get away with it. In fact, King Elias may actually be a good step forward for him. So maybe that's now who I want to win the King of the Ring. I mean, it's not, but I'm trying to think how WWE thinks, and if they do that, put like this, I'd rather Elias over Baron Corbin. That's what I'm saying. Samoa Joe was being interviewed next and said he was on SmackDown to scout his King of the Ring competition. Doesn't really make sense, because his next opponents are Ricochet and Baron, but you know, I guess he's so confident, he believes he will get to the final. Samoa Joe, I hope you do. And that contradicts what I just said, but as we know, I love Samoa Joe. If I ever see him, I'm going to walk up to him and give him a big hug. He'll then choke me out. And that's a story I can tell for the rest of my life. Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville then beat Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross in a non-title match for the Tag Team Champions. That was a paradox, you know what I'm saying? Either way, down. My issue here is that if you paste the Iconics over Alexa and Nikki, we've literally gone back to what we were doing a few months ago. And why can't WWE come up with some new ideas? And again, do not get me wrong, I was pleased to see Fire and Desire get the win here, especially because they got some new tag team finisher where Mandy Rose hits them with the knee and Sonya Deville sweeps the leg. And look, I can take that match at Clash of the Champions. I think Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville are underrated, but the fact we've just gone back to task really winds me up. It's just, well, we want them to have a championship match, so we just put them in a random match, then they'll have the championship match. Then what will happen, if we're going by what's happened before, WWE will change their mind, Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross will win, and then for some reason, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville will be back in a tag team championship match. That's what happens. Samoa Joe was then laughing and yelling at Chad Gable, and he also called him Bilbo Baggins. That did make me laugh, even though the short stuff is getting a little bit old already. But he made a better point, did old Samoa, where he said, it's not about being short, Chad Gable. It's because when I look into your eyes, when I look into your soul, when I look into your brain, I know you are mentally weak. Chad Gable then looked really upset. So I guess he is a bit mentally weak. But I have a feeling he's going to overcome. Randy Orton then said that Kofi Kingston was stupid and proved that Kofi Kingston was stupid. But still, up. He was out there showing us what he has done to the New Day over the last few weeks, and that come Clash of the Champions, he's going to finish that off by winning the WWE title. He also looked right at Kofi Kingston, who wasn't out there yet, but he was pretending that he was, and he said, Kofi, get out here, no more tricks, no more shenanigans, I just want to stare you down so we can prepare for our big match. And then, like a stupid idiot, Kofi Kingston went out there, and of course there was some shindigs, of course there was some shenanigans, of course there was a trap. Kofi, what were you doing? I could have seen this a mile away, so could Stevie Wonder. The Revival there to give him a kick in, and before long he was being super RKO'd in the middle of the ring as Randy Orton laughed like a fool. Also, now I know how easy it is to get one over Kofi, I am going to challenge him to a championship match as well. Nobody trusts Randy Orton. Kofi Kingston, not even Randy Orton's mum, trusts Randy Orton. Mrs. Orton, if he goes down there for roast dinner, she probably spends the whole time peering at the kitchen while she's doing the potatoes like, oh my gosh, I hope he doesn't try and attack me. This does mean that Orton has officially taken out all members of the New Day, and that's exactly what he said he was going to do. I also enjoyed it where at one point he was putting the boots in to Kofi and just going, stupid. Stupid. Sounded a little bit like the start of a terrible hip-hop track. Chad Gable then beat Andrade in the King of the Ring, and it was absolutely wonderful, even though WWE had to WWE it. But given that I was watching WWE, that wasn't that much of a surprise. Give it up. Corey Graves did ruin it a little bit by once again just doing short joke after short joke after short joke, but I don't even care about that, because even after distractions from Zelina Vega, Chad Gable was able to get the 1, 2, 3, and he is now going through to the next round of the King of the Ring. I went crazy, made my weird noises as I always do. The fans popped huge, and yet, look, I know, he won with yet another surprise roll-up, the most devastating move in WWE, and that's how he beat Shelton 7 days ago. Right now, when it comes to Shorty G, please don't do that, WWE. I will give you anything. I will give you my hair. I think I'm just going to take what I'm going to get. So far, it has been wonderful. Again, this is why tournaments are so good. They picked him as the underdog hero, and right now, he's making my dreams come true. That's right. I was 3 years old, I was growing up. My mum said to me, Simon, what do you want from life? I said, I want to get into my early 30s, and I want Chad Gable to win the damn King of the Ring. We then randomly had Aleister Black versus Shelton Benjamin, and straight away I was like, oh, it's a match I never know I needed, but I'm damn sure pleased I got it. Give it up. I would guess this happened because somebody backstage went, oh, wait, we haven't used Aleister Black for some time, we should probably use him. And that also tied into another vignette we had earlier on in the show where Black was in his dark room and he just went, man, this door thing ain't working. Nobody's knocking on my door. Although I did, by the way, Aleister, you ignored me, so that sucks to be you, doesn't it? So he went out there, he challenged someone, Shelton Benjamin was like, yeah, I'll do it. So they did. Not sure why it took Aleister Black so long to get to the ring, because he ended his video by saying, I'm going to go there right now. Maybe there was a spinal tap situation, but I want to say, Shelton Benjamin, you are so underrated. You made this an absolute joy, as did Aleister Black. And by the time Shelton got smashed in the face with the black mass and lost, I was just happy all around. Now maybe we can give Aleister Black a proper push, like he's really cool and he's really different. If for some reason it's all stop-starty, and I don't know why. Massage hands. Bizarrely, we then went backstage and Bo Dallas won the 24/7 championship. I mean, Drake Maverick was there and he was fighting off Cursor Axel, he was fighting off the Sings. At one point, Grand Metalik just flew in front of him on like a tray table, and that was quite funny. But yeah, I guess he was distracted by that, because Dallas rolled him up. And of all people, Bo Dallas is your new 24/7 champion. It didn't last long, because after the next in-ring segment, which I'll talk about in just 1 second, Maverick was out there having to battle again, and eventually it was R-Truth who was dressed as a lamppost as part of the King of the Ring setup, snuck in, rolled him up, and retained his title. Now, I'm going to say this. Before I saw the R-Truth bit, and he played it so well, and he just looked so happy, I was going to give this a down, because I do believe WWE needs to come up with some new ideas for the 24/7 championship. It feels a bit like paste, copy, and repeat. But again, Truth is so good at this, and the fans love him so much, you can't help but laugh. Give it an up. I mentioned an in-ring segment though, and it was Shinsuke Nakamura with Sami Zayn in his corner, and they were taking on some drobber called Andrew Howard. Actually, no, his name wasn't Andrew Howard. Sami Zayn just went, your name's Andrew Howard, right? And was like, no, my name's not Andrew Howard. And Sami Zayn was like, I don't care. It doesn't matter because of the purposes of this evening, you're just going to be the Miz anyway. Give it up. This, of course, was just one big squash match as Sami Zayn did live commentary at ringside. But look, getting to see Shinsuke absolutely wallop someone while Zayn did all his talking, and he is very good at that, this partnership gets more and more intriguing and kind of more and more good as the weeks pass by. Just do not ruin it, WWE, by having Shinsuke lose the belt on Sunday week. I will go nuts. And again, I never thought this would be a thing, but now I've got it, it's actually growing on me. It's like someone giving me a chicken and banana sandwich. I'm like, well, I like chicken, I like banana, bread's all right, I don't really want to eat it all together. And then I eat that sandwich, and it absolutely changes my life. Little asterisks here. Please do not try to eat a banana and chicken sandwich today. It ain't gonna be any good. It was then finally time to end my investigation. Give it an up. It began with Daniel Bryan in the ring, and he was livid, I tell you, that Erick Rowan had lied to him last week, because as we know, Daniel Bryan hates lies. He asked Roman Reigns to come out because he still fancied an apology, but when the big dog did arrive, he was attacked behind by Erick Rowan. Erick Rowan went absolutely crazy here as well, saying that he's nobody's puppet, and if he was, he'd probably be on a talk show here on Ups and Downs, and he absolutely laid waste to Roman Reigns, who, yes, he will face at Clash of Champions, even though neither one is a champion. There's an investigation in that. Daniel Bryan was pleading with him to stop, but that just wound up the big man even more, and he picked up his former friend and he iron-clawed him through a table, which begs the question, did Daniel Bryan actually know about Rowan's actions? Because here, Rowan did say on that microphone, yes, Roman Reigns, it was me. I tried to kill you. Also, Rowan, I would like to know why. It's a very strange thing to just decide to do one day. That is how SmackDown ended though, so we have now officially found out that yes, Erick Rowan was responsible for trying to kill Roman Reigns. And again, I just want to say this. I have seen a lot on their social media of people saying, I can't believe we are going to get Roman Reigns versus Erick Rowan at a pay-per-view. Are you kidding me? This is good. This is what we should be doing with people on B shows such as Clash of Champions. Let's give Erick Rowan a shot. Eric, I'm behind you, and I look forward to see what you're able to achieve. And yes, if you have been being observant this week, I have been talking not while holding a cigar, but by holding a piece of sellotape, or a roll of sellotape, I should say. But as we know, without sellotape, you can't hold anything together. And holding things together is a great way to start and end any investigation. And that was it. SmackDown came to an end, and I thought it was a very easy to watch 2 hours. It was entertaining, it was enjoyable, the continuity was all right, we featured some people, the King of the Ring continues to kick ass. That's all I need. I mean, we're in the middle of September, or in early September right now. WWE always falls off a cliff a little bit, but right now it's ticking along quite nicely, and I'm not thinking it's about to die. That is all right with me. Spin the arrow, give it an up, let's move on. Now, don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you thought about last night's episode of SmackDown. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling. Maybe you can sneakily go to Kayfabe News. Go type in Kayfabe News to your YouTube device and maybe subscribe. Maybe you'll see someone that looks like me. I don't know. Head over to WhatCulture.com and read yourself some articles. Follow WhatCulture on Twitter, WhatCulture WWE, and watch more videos here on WhatCulture Wrestling. My name is Simon from WhatCulture. Thank you very much for watching, and what a week it has been. So why don't you go and catch up? New Japan Raw Quest ups and downs, All Out ups and downs, Raw ups and downs, SmackDown ups and downs. Thankfully this weekend it all calms down a bit. But you know we'll be back next Tuesday to up those downs for Raw, because nothing can stop the finger of power and nothing can stop Mr. Ups and Downs. It's a weird name to have. I'll take it.